Hey, what up? This is AstroDude8575 coming at you from Florida. I'm here with another deck list this week, and it's my friend's deck list, and it's been doing really well lately, and it's Darkworlds. So, tell them what it is.
Okay, first I start off with the basic 3 Graphas. Why not? You get to destroy a card and he special summons whenever you have another Dark World on the field. Then I run 3 Snows because they search out and it helps you discard more. And they special summon if your opponent makes you discard. Brow. I run 3. He just draws and gives me pluses a lot. Next I run 2 Silva. People ask why, but I have a reason why later I will show you. And he's a 23 beater, and I like to exceed into level 5s. Trance Archfiend. I get to discard, and he gets a plus 500. And when he's destroyed by battle or card effect, I get to add a remove from play dark monster to my hand. Cerulli. This is why I run Silva, because it just gives me a plus off and it works with all the other Dark World monsters and lets me like draw an extra card, special summon from my opponent's graveyard or hand. Then Morphing Jar recycles a new hand for me. Sangin, he searches out for like Trance, Cerulli, and Brow, and Morphing Jar.
So, how many monsters is that?
I believe it's 16 right now. Not really sure. Basic Dark World card, Gates of the Dark World. It's just a plus anytime you need it. And it makes your opponent waste an MST. Drag down to the grave. I find this better than Dark World dealings because you actually get to choose what card you get rid of. And you get to later on get rid of more stuff. Dark World dealings. I only run 2 because I don't want my opponent to get rid of stuff they don't need, and it helps them if they play like a Chaos or another Dark World deck. 2 Mysticals just for like the removal. If I ever play a removal deck, it's there, and I get rid of like Mirror Force, Deep Prisoner, or Boundless. Basic Monster Reborn, get like a Grapha or another Dark World to bounce back for Grapha. Just to send Grapha to the grave, I use Foolish. Staple Dark Hole. Staple Heavy. Card Destruction just to get a new hand and plus off more.
So, 15 spells.
Yep.
Alright.
Now, I play 3 Greeds because with the field spell, it doesn't matter if you can't draw for 2 turns. You're just going to continue to draw and add more cards to your hand. Mind Crush. In this deck, I get to know what my opponent can do before he even does it, and it's just a plus. Even if I don't know their hand, I could call a random card and discard Dark World and add or draw or destroy, or special summon. Dark Smog. It stops those decks that needs a setup in the grave, like Inzector, they need the Hornet, Chaos, I could remove all their the darks or light monsters from their grave, and I get to discard a card from a fiend monster from my hand. Solemn Judgement, it's a staple. Everyone should run it in their deck. Deck Devastation. It hits Inzectors, Windups, Rabbits if they have it in their hand, and it helps with the Mind Crush also. Skill Drain. In any Dark World deck, you will always see a Skill Drain because they don't have an effect that goes off on the field, and it doesn't hit them much besides the Trance and Cerulli and Morphing Jar. And the last trap is Torrential. You don't care. If you have Grapha, you're just going to go off either way with Torrential. And that's it for the main deck.
How many traps?
I believe it's 11.
Okay.
And the deck total is 41. And for the extra deck, this is a new card. I want to see how it works, but it's Neo Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. I had a lot of times when I had a level 3 Graphical and my opponent had an Exceed that I wanted to get rid of this turn. And I want to see how it works, but I have no idea if it's good or not yet. Utopia. I had times where because of him, I win. Acid. With Skill Drain, he's just a broken card that's out on the field. Leviathan. There's nothing to say really about him. He's just a main deck for any deck. Wurm. Yes, I don't run any tuners, but there's going to be a time when I Monster Reborn something. And that goes for the rest of my extra deck. And that's my extra deck. For the side, I run 2 DD Crows for mirror matches against other Darkworlds, for wind-ups and insectors, because why not? Get rid of Hornet, stop from the whole play from going off. I run the third MST in extra side deck because, like I said, removal kills this deck and I need a way to get rid of it. Prohibition. I just use it really against more insectors to call off their heavy, their Hornet or MSTs, and that stops them. I slide into the second Skill Drain. Skill Drain is just an amazing card in this format because they rely for the effect to go off. Deck Devi. The reason I said the second one is because when I played my friend against his wind-up deck, the first deck Devi didn't really do much, but when I got the second one off, I had a guaranteed win and he couldn't come back from it. I side into 2 Bombless for mirror matches and rabbits. The mirror match is actually a really hard matchup for me, but with my build, I haven't lost to another Darkworld yet, so I'm gonna stay with it. And that goes with the deep prisons too, because they're not expecting it. I side into Golem match because they're all darts, and I never really use the extra deck, but when I do, this doesn't happen much for me. And then Royal Decree. Any removal deck out there, this will mess up big time with the Bombless, Deep Prison, and it hits rabbits if the preference is heavy back row. And that's my deck.
Alright, so tune in next week. I'll have another deck up. I'll probably do something on DN, or I'll have a new deck. So see you guys later. Rate, subscribe, like, do whatever you guys do on the YouTubes, and see you later.